G'day guys, this is Holy Critics signing in, and today I wanted to cover a news topic which completely flew over my head earlier this month. For obvious reasons, I was deeply engrossed in the US election results, but that was the ruling in the Johnny Depp the Sun newspaper, aka Amber Heard, libel case. And the judge ruled against Johnny Depp. What? I couldn't believe it when I found out last week. I just stumbled across it when I was looking through my Facebook feed. How did Johnny Depp lose? I mean, I made a video about this back in July when the case was really hotting up with all the salacious and gratuitous information that was being given in the trial. And I thought to myself, well, Johnny's walking into a trap here, because Amber Heard, behind his back, while they were still married, was secretly recording him, doing, not only photographs of him, lying on the ground, drugged or drunk, but also video and audio of him saying, cut me, and all sorts of just unbelievable information. And I thought to myself, Johnny, what are you doing? Why are you going after this newspaper who called you a wife beater? Clearly, they wouldn't print something like that unless they had a kernel. That's all that's required, a kernel of truth. But apparently, the judge said that, yeah, Johnny is a wife beater. Irregardless of the fact that he's got no criminal record, he's never been convicted of domestic violence related, like battery or assault. He's never been convicted of anything like that. Yet somehow, on the balance of probabilities, whatever that legal jargon means, Johnny Depp beat his wife. So when the Sun newspaper printed that in their headline, they didn't defame his character. A man who's never stood before a jury, a man who's what's the term we use? Guilty beyond reasonable doubt. None of that applies in these civil suits. All you have to have is some thin narrative with enough evidential things to string it together to defame somebody. So what I've gone and done is I've trawled through different articles to find out what exactly was the reasoning behind this decision, which has absolutely massive ramifications for Johnny Depp's career. He even wrote a statement just after the verdict on November the 6th, basically stating that he's been fired, or he says he resigned, but let's be real, Warner Brothers fired him from the Fantastic Beasts series, where he plays the character Grindelwald. And he's basically said this surreal judgment of the court in the UK will not change my fight to tell the truth and I confirm that I plan to appeal. So clearly he's not, this is just, she's won the battle, but she hasn't won the war. And Johnny Depp is going to strike back, because even though I thought it was ill-advised what he did, surely you have a right to defend yourself from such wild accusations. So let's look at this article, and we'll get a more thorough explanation of the inner workings of the trial. So, reading on here. On November the 2nd, 2020, London's High Court handed down its hotly anticipated judgment in the high-profile libel case brought by Hollywood actor Johnny Depp over a newspaper article which labelled him a wife-beater. In his 585-paragraph ruling, You think they just say the number of pages, but anyway. The presiding judge, Mr. Justice Nicol, dismissed the actor's claim, holding in essence that the words used in the Sun's report were legally acceptable. Depp brought a libel action against the Sun's publisher in respect to a 2018 article which was first published online under the headline, "Gone Potty, How Can J.K. Rowling Be Genuinely Happy Casting Wife Beater Johnny Depp in the Fantastic Beasts film?" I mean, talk about tabloid media. What a load of trash that headline is. The story asserted that Depp was violent towards his ex-wife Amber Heard during their relationship. Depp's case was that the article made serious, defamatory allegations which bore the meaning that he was guilty of serious domestic violence against his former wife. Well, yeah, he's right there. That was certainly a strong point of his defense. The defense maintained that the evidence showed the claimant was violent towards Miss Heard on multiple occasions during their relationship, and thus wife beater was a justifiable claim. They relied on 14 alleged incidents of serious physical assault against Heard, which had occurred between 2013 and 2018. However, Depp consistently denied the reputation-destroying and career-ending allegations. The case was heard over the course of 16 days at London's Royal Courts of Justice in July 2020. Importantly, neither Depp nor Heard was on trial. Well, not in the court of public opinion anyway. And this wasn't a criminal trial either. In his libel dispute, there were two central issues: the meaning of the articles complained of, and whether the imputation conveyed by them, that the actor engaged in unprovoked and violent conduct against his wife, was true in substance and fact. Mr. Justice Nicol held that the meaning of the words complained of was as contended for by the Sun, talk about wordy, namely that Depp was violent to Heard, causing her to suffer significant injury, and on occasion leading to her fearing for her life. The judge was also expressly acknowledged Depp proved that the necessary elements of his cause of action, that his reputation had been damaged. But under UK defamation law, the defendant proves that the published words are substantially true. They will have a complete defense. They cannot be successfully sued regardless of the gravity of the allegations. In this case, the judge found that the great majority of the alleged incidents of violent physical assault against his ex-wife were proved to be substantially true and dismissed Depp's claim. So what does this mean now for him? He's already stated that he's going to appeal the verdict. And maybe now that he's gone this far down the road, maybe this is the only course of action he's got. If I had my way, I would have sternly warned him not to go down this. It was a trap laid out perfectly by a very evil genius. She was an evil genius. And this is proven by the fact that the judge couldn't even see through what she'd done to set him up. The judge, I imagine this judge is in good standing. He's a seasoned veteran. He's been doing it for 20, 30 years. But even he couldn't see through the web that she weaved. So what are the next steps? Well, as this article puts it, it'll be interesting to see where this case progresses. Depp's legal team have called the judgment perverse and bewildering. Yeah, that about sums it up. And indicated that he will be seeking permission to appeal. The relevant test is outlined, here's some legal jargon, Part 52.6 of the Civil Procedure Rules. States the following: Except where Rule 52.7 applies, permission to appeal may only be given where the court considers that the appeal would have a real prospect of success. I wonder how they deem that. And B, there is some other compelling reason for the appeal to be heard. Well, you could say that the way in which she provoked Johnny Depp, I mean, there was audio where she absolutely, verifiably admitted that she slammed a door on Johnny Depp. And of course, if anybody did that, you would retaliate. But that didn't seem to bear any role in the judge's verdict. So you could say that's grounds that she assaulted Johnny and he defended himself, right? While at first glance the attest appears wide, it is difficult to see how Depp would be successful and what an appeal would achieve. Well, it would certainly be a lot more expensive. Mr. Justice Nichols' judgment is extensive and involves various findings of fact against Depp across 14 incidents. The judge made those findings having had the advantage of numerous witnesses giving live evidence. Well, he also had witnesses to defend him, like previous partners, who said that he's never lifted a hand in violence towards them. Any appeal hearing, should permission even be granted, would not be a hearing of the case and would most likely be submission-based only. That this case revolved around the issue of fact, with the judge having to decide which versions of events were more credible. The judge sided with Heard. Any appeal court would place significant weight on the judge's discretion in the case, with him being more familiar with the evidence than any appeal court would be. Dragging this case out would only seek to further damage Depp's reputation. Well, certainly not among his fans. We've certainly consolidated support behind him, with little positives to achieve. He would have to show that the 12 findings of fact that he was physically violent towards Heard were incorrect for his claim to be successful on appeal. Despite this, the war between Depp and Heard wages on in the US, with Depp bringing a further defamation claim against Heard directly for $50 million. That would have been the damages when he got fired from the Pirates of the Caribbean sequel, I assume. It will be interesting to see if the different approach in the US, which poses different questions to that of the 2013 Act, will throw up a different outcome. Further to that, following the imposition of the Speech Act 2010, American courts no longer recognize nor enforce foreign judgments for libel obtained under laws which do not afford as much protection for freedom of speech as that of the First Amendment. Well, that throws a bit of a spanner in the works if you think about it, because while she has a court ruling in her favor now, which I'm sure she will try to present, it sounds like under US law, this Speech Act, the court won't recognize that this recent ruling of the libel case against the Sun newspaper. So that does give Johnny Depp hope that in the totality he might be able to beat Amber Heard. It appears then that while this judgment may be persuasive to the American courts, Depp and Heard appear to be destined to do this all over again, and I, for one, will be watching. Well, I will be too, as long as the judge doesn't take 3 months to bring about the ruling. Because there was too many other events going on. I couldn't track all this. I've got to go over it post-mortem to even make sense of the reasoning that the judge made. So, Johnny Depp, he gets fired now from the Fantastic Beasts series, as it says in this typed up letter he wrote. That's more loss of money. I've got no idea how much it's cost him legally for this current lawsuit, let alone the one that's going to occur in the US. Plus, I assume the judge is going to award damages in her favor, meaning he'll have to pay her legal costs, which is, we're talking about tens of millions of dollars here in loss for Johnny Depp, if not more. His role now, apparently, in the series has been recast by Mads Mikkelsen. So, I mean, I don't actually watch Fantastic Beasts. I mean, it's too lame for me. But, it's been recast now, so he's not going to get that back. I assume Warner Brothers or any other big Hollywood studios are not going to want to work with him. I mean, maybe there's hope. I was reading this article today about Netflix in talks with over a future project. So, I mean, maybe we'll see him in something like this, The Addams Family. That could be interesting. I'd watch that. Is that made up or is that real? 2022, can't be real. There's no way. No way. Although Tim Burton could make a very good Addams Family movie adaptation, I suppose you'd call it. Anyway, tell me your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you saw my previous rant on this topic, I know I got a lot of hate because I basically said it takes two to tango, and Johnny Depp is setting himself up here to lose, because we know traditionally courts will predominantly side with the women in this case, and my worst fears were confirmed now that the verdict has come in. Should Johnny Depp proceed to go down this road of appeals and this US defamation suit for $50 million, or do you think he's got no chance in hell and he should just cut his losses? He really should have cut his losses all along and just said, fake news. You know, Donald Trump does it. Fake news, tabloid media. I mean, how many times has Donald Trump been defamed, rightfully or wrongfully? The claims that have been made against, but you don't see Donald Trump suing everybody under the sun for that. He just says fake news. Maybe Johnny Depp should have just said that. She's a dirty liar. She's got a history of compulsivity. Previous partners have said she's been abusive. I'm going to wash my hands of this and walk away. Clearly, this is a jaded woman who is revengeful and wants to get back at me. She's just another gold digger. And the only mistake I ever had was ever getting in bed with her. Johnny Depp could have said that, but he wanted to defend his reputation, and he has every right to do so. But the consequences are he's now in a Venus flytrap, and it's only going to get more costly from here on in. Anyway, that's enough of me, guys. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a thumbs up or subscribe and press the notification bell if you haven't already. But enjoy the rest of your weekend, and this is Holy Critic signing out.